And our road infrastructure development. Internal auditors not registering in satisfactory numbers with the Institute of Internal Auditors. And in sports, BNSC gives the Botswana Netball Association the green light to host the Africa Netball Cup. The government has prioritized internal roads infrastructure development as well as the participation of citizens in major infrastructural projects. When addressing a Khotla meeting in Mahalape this morning, President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi acknowledged the need for the development of internal road networks to provide essential infrastructure for the long-term benefit of communities. Utsidile Unkabetsi.
Road infrastructure plays a critical role in driving socio-economic development, a priority found in Botswana's Vision 2036 agenda. Like many villages and towns across the country which are in need of more developed road networks, Mahalape, which is home to 48,000 plus people, is no exception.
CCP lekana a re ntse o kopa le khuthamaga go seka wa akanye o e akanyetse mo ditseleng gore tsela tse di dikgologolo thata.
Re lemogile gore sebaka se tsile yanong gore ditsela tse le langa tsonetse e se ka ra di baakanya hela re di atolose tshwetso e re etsa ile gore re tsamaisa le maikelo a re a kgokgwetsang a gore ba ba senang ditiro ba di batla ba tshesega go bereka ba tsenya diatla. So ha se ma 10 million pula hela yang ko internal roads ke ma 10 million pula ile gore a betswe ona le o mang Motswana hela re segetse gore ne a Batswana hela ke bua mebereko ile gore ntse e seo ke gona ka re atolosa mebereko ka hamhaming wa go ireng ditsela re irisa madi a lona a budget. It's 570 million pula. Kya ao. Aberekele. Ngogota ngwa madi. Ha budget e etswa. Madi a teng a tla ba oketsega na 610 million pula. Ha re go tlase. A lebagane le wena hela.
Dissatisfied with the condition of their local bus rank, Mahalape local authorities sought a long-term solution to its development.
This bus rank, Your Excellency, it is an eyesore.
Design Hanal di phoso tse dintsi tse di diragetseng mme ke letsoletsolo helo ke gore e nne yone e ileng gore e ka re ha re santse re tabo re bata madi ang go dira bus rank ha e be le gore se se dirilweng ho sa nakwana sa gore tshwarelela.
The next 13 years are defining for Botswana as she remains the eagle's eye on realizing her Vision 2036, which speaks to building an inclusive society and ensuring prosperity for all. Utsidile Ungabetsi, BTV News.
Still at the Khotla meeting, President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi urged public officers to work tirelessly and serve the public with diligence, as doing so will have a positive impact on the development of the economy. Mojadi Mukibelo.
Productivity is one of the key pillars in achieving the Vision 2036 agenda. It is important for every Motswana, especially public workforce, to adhere to the principle in serving their communities diligently. Moreover, through President Masisi's reset agenda, it calls upon every Motswana to change their mindsets in taking this country to be a high-income economy and being productive in the workplace being emphasized as a prerequisite to succeed.
Ki buile gore ke batla go ira puso go etela bodiredi bo eleng gore bo a thusa, a helpful public service bo maitseo bo ikobela batho. You know go ngomola pelo ka gore ra bua ra kopa ra reng e be ra itira le phoso tota le melao ra e dira ya botlhanka mo modiredi ke tla go a se kae gompieko ga o hirilwe ka molao o leng teng o batla gore go batla gore o hudutsiwe o ye ko Francis Town ga te mo hira go kope gore ke kopa gore anka go kopa gore ke go disetse ko Francis Town tiro e lekwa.
Residents had few concerns to share on land issues and welfare amongst others.
Na ke molemi mo pilung yami ke thoka le ha tshehela yana
ha ona le bo dairy farm bo feedlot ha go le khonagala o ka dira an integrated farm ra dira yalo mme ha ke tsore gongwe phosego e dile ka go rona ba rena re ikopela ra se ka ra tsenya kopo ya arable farming
ngwaga bo 5 wana re tsela mo gone go sala go tile ke a goela ntlo
matshwenyego a rona a re na lone mabapi le go sa direlwa sente mo di-pensioneng tsa rona ha re togela tiro ya bosole ka bogodi
mme ke tlhagisa hela re tla ibuela ko thoko nna ke ipaakantse le tharabolo ene ke yakantse ke ipaakantse ke baakantse le diphatlo tsa teng tota di emetse lona gore la reng
mme re le ba sepodisi re tsere gore re tla agela Rethambi ntlo ba gaetsho
ba land board o supa gore sephato sa tshimo e ya gago e be ile gore se dirisediwa temo ga re bate temo le toto a ya go dirisiwa go agelela mahelo a thuo.
Mahalape leadership applauded President Masisi on some of the notable key developments in the village.
Me ke a leboga gore ditso tsa gago mo Mahalape di a bonala ka adolescent park e neng wa e dira o bereka le re merafe bone ba neng ba taka phaka e ba neng ba taka kopikinini ba dira the adolescent center ka tsela e ntseng jalo.
Over 200 million pula has been set aside to carry out some of the major projects in the village, being the construction of the new bus rank as well as fire station. Moja Timu Kibelo, BTV News.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Edwin Dukoloti, has encouraged pharmacists to work together in soliciting solutions to challenges they encounter in their workplace, saying the move would be handy in supporting government in its efforts to achieve Vision 2036. He said this at the 33rd Annual Conference of the Pharmaceutical Society of Botswana in Gaborone. Kumiso Mapayani.
Pharmacists were encouraged to ensure they provide quality services at all times, as well as open pharmaceutical businesses to aid in government's job creation drive. This is said to be capable of capitulating the health sector to greater heights. More so, it is in line with the aspiration of President Masisi's Mindset Change Initiative.
We are committed to implementing policies that facilitate the growth of the pharmaceutical sector. Our regulatory framework has continuously been refined to provide a conducive environment for businesses to flourish while ensuring adherence to our stringent quality standards. And on capacity building and skills enhancement, we understand that a skilled workforce is the backbone of a thriving pharmaceutical industry. To this end, our government is investing in programs aimed at training and upskilling the pharmacy personnel in all sectors of the industry and ensuring that they remain at the forefront of best practices and innovations.
Through research and collaboration of domestic and foreign pharmaceutical personnel have been suggested to help increase efficiency and effectiveness within the health sector through skills sharing and exchanging ideas.
We are actively seeking partnerships, both domestically and internationally, with public and private stakeholders. Such collaborations will leverage expertise, resources, and knowledge exchange, thereby fostering a robust and sustainable pharmaceutical ecosystem. We also regard research and development as a very critical approach for the pharmaceutical sector's growth. Government currently allocates significant resources to the health sector in order to incentivize research initiatives that drive innovation and contribute to the development of new, affordable, and life-saving medications.
Working relationship between public and private pharmaceutical entities has been identified as another effective way to alleviate some of challenges faced by the pharmaceutical sector. Kumiso Mapanyani, BTV News, Kaburu.
The Court of Appeal this morning ruled in favor of the Directorate of Public Service Management in a case in which the government was appealing an industrial court ruling in favor of the Botswana Nurses Union to have midwives and nurses paid on-call allowances. Umkutlule Tamare.
In March 2022, the Francistown Industrial Court made an order in favor of the Botswana Nurses Union that the entire time that nurses and midwives are rostered to be on call constitute working time for which they must be paid, as they cannot leave the area of their duty station. The Industrial Court also ruled that the time a nurse or midwife accompanies a patient on referral from one medical facility to another and back constitute working time for which they must be paid. Government appealed the whole decision of the Industrial Court on grounds that the decision be set aside and be dismissed. The government was also adamant that the on-call period is not like the actual attendance at work, where a supervisor has to examine the record to see how many hours each employee worked, and that the hours do not count and the pay was kept at 30% as committed overtime allowance. Delivering judgment, the three Court of Appeal judges, Justice Hweme Khabo Tebogo Maruping, Justice Isaac Lesetedi, and Justice Tsoganetso Mohomotsi, says the time spent on calls by nurses and midwives must be regarded as working time and where appropriate as overtime if they are physically present at the health facility. On the part of costs, the judges say based on the Industrial Court judgment, the court did not award any costs, as it is clear that there is partial success of appeal.
At the end of the day, so matata ya gonna gone gore gonna kwa lapeng o emetse gore o bidio as opposed to gore o tsamaye o dire dilo tsa gago o tla bidiwa go te ke teng fo ya morela go nna le mathata teng gone go re emetse ba itsana pe ba semolao ba neng ba re emetse gore ba tla gore tlhalosetsa gore ba pele tota re tsamaya ka mokgontsing ya mokganyeng me bonne se bona re ntse ra ba rotloetsa gore ba tswelele ba kwale malatsi a bone a e leng gore ba ba le mogolo ka gore rona tumelo rona gore ba se gore ba twe
Ungutle Tamage, BTV News, Gaborone.
The Assistant Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Ms. Dalita Monnakgotla, says winners of the Miss RADP pageant will be made ambassadors of the Remote Area Development Program by way of participation in community projects, outreach programs, and representing RADP at national level. The Assistant Minister said this at a press briefing in Gaborone yesterday. Horata Morayani.
The Miss RADP pageant is currently on the 10th year and very much values diversity and uniqueness of culture and natural beauty that is found amongst young talented men and women from remote area communities. The Assistant Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Ms. Dalita Monnakgotla, said the incoming Queen and King are expected to be advocates for behavioral change amongst the youth in remote areas, particularly on issues of sexual reproductive health and alcohol and substance abuse, and the importance of education.
How our finalists have contributed to behavior change, cultural promotion, and livelihood upliftment in their local area as well as at the national level. Our past winners have been engaged in individual projects which include craft shop, tuck shop, employment project. I'm happy to inform you that our past winners have all received their prizes and are doing well in their respective enterprises.
The fruitful collaboration and partnership between government and private sector seeks to support and contribute towards government efforts in addressing remote area social and development challenges.
Through the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development in Youth Empowerment through Skills Development, the private sector, NGOs, and other partners came on board to sponsor various training programs, developed for the youth from remote areas and communities, encompassing various life skills, one of them being Mr. and Miss RDP pageant. The government alone could not deliver Mr. and Mrs. RDP pageant alone. Hence, we saw sponsors like ourselves coming on board consistently over the last 10 years to support this great initiative that empowers youth.
My prizes as the first runner-up were as follows: 7,000 Bula cash prize, an additional 5,000 Bula to the cash prize, 60,000 Bula startup for any business of my choice, free business training and mentorship. This pageant really changed my life, as I am now in a position to create generational wealth for myself and the much needed employment for those in my community.
The stage is set for the grand finale on the 25th of November 2023 at Bipuso Hall in Gaborone. Khorata Moranyani, BTV News, Gaborone.
When giving a keynote address at the 12th Annual Institute of Internal Auditors Conference, the Minister of Entrepreneurship, Mr. Karabokari, said despite the number of internal auditors being much larger, only 400 auditors have registered with the Institute. This he attributed to the fact that there is no legislation that compels auditors to register with the organization. Khorata Moranyani.
Established in 1941, the Institute of Internal Auditors is an international professional association which supports the development of a competent global body of internal audit practitioners that enhances organizational governance and protects values of organizations. The Minister of Entrepreneurship, Mr. Karabokare, said that institutions such as the Institute of Internal Auditors are important as they address governance and ethical issues in organizations.
Director of Ceremonies, I'm informed that while there are more than 1,000 internal auditors currently practicing in Botswana, central government and local authorities included, only 400 are registered with the Institute. Only 400. I understand that the reason for this is that there's no legislation compelling them to register. My conviction is that this is another area requiring mindset change sooner rather than later. Given the important role the Institute plays, which is to promote and monitor compliance with standards for a professional practice of internal auditing by practitioners in Botswana, I would implore you to engage with government on this issue so that every practicing internal auditor could be brought under the control of IIA Botswana.
This conference enhances compliance, effectiveness, and protects organizations.
Capacitate the internal auditors. Like you've seen from our lineup, we have a formidable lineup of speakers, both local and international, and we won't just be discussing technical matters. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have authorities. So the main purpose of the conference is basically to build capacity on our internal audit cadre to ensure that they comply with the standards, they are up to date with the applicable statutes, and also they comply with our code of conduct. So that really is the gist of why we are having this conference.
This year's conference brought different experts with a wide range of topics that speak on governance and ethics. Khorata Moranyani, BTV News, Gaborone.
Mayors Forum Chairman Mr. Godisang Radisego has urged community leaders to work closely with the Special Economic Zone Authority, SEZA, as the authority is key to alleviating unemployment and improving the quality of life of communities. Mr. Radisego said this at the 6th Mayors Forum meeting in Nata recently. Abigail Madorobo.
Mr. Radisego says they have started implementing strategic actions item which includes hosting of private sector engagements with the business community and also carrying out consultations with companies in localities that have the potential to expand into the SEZA with a goal of uniting them for a common goal of employment creation.
We need working special economic zones in our localities, as they are the key to alleviating the high unemployment rate we are faced with as the leaderships and improving the quality of life about our communities. Ya nonka jaga ke sa tswa go bua betso go botlhokwa gore re tsenye letsogo re tsenye leitlho le le tseneletseng re be re bone gore bonya bo botsalwa yeng gore jaaka ne re kile re ipela dielo gore tshwantse be re le haka mo nako e rileng ke go nna bonya jaaka go ntse go le bonya.
Let us continue embracing the reform as we journey towards achieving prosperity for all in all the SEZ localities by 2036, while we ensure that no one is left behind.
It is important for communities to approach things in a different way which will improve their lives.
We need to approach things in a different manner. We need to approach things with mindset change. And we need to do things at the end of the day, they will bear fruit and influence positive development in terms of the new order so it is absolutely vital for us to stand together.
With the right mindset, we will overcome and any challenge me ka jalo betso ni le gone go ba amogela ya la re amogela bone bo meara le ba dula tilo mo faramong ya bone le gone gore ke thagol le tsela mula tilo wa foramo e bong is worship meara wa Francis Town e bong re Radisego.
Mayors were asked to align their district developments and urban development planning process with SEZA to ensure that no Motswana is left behind. Abigail Madorobo, BTV News, Nata.
Botswana's elephant population is said to stand at 60,000. This is according to a recent survey by the Department of Wildlife. As a result of the current dry season, the rising elephant mortality rate in the Chobe National Park, primarily at Poha Station, is becoming a concern. The Wildlife and National Park Survey also revealed 72 elephant carcasses across the park, a signal that there could possibly be more. Kitso Taimani.
Acting Regional Wildlife Officer Mr. Ernest Madimabi revealed that the park is overpopulated with elephants from across Kasa region. Therefore, there is a huge impact on the vegetation and their conditions of health.
Investigations
according to the Principal Veterinarian Officer 2, Dr. Karabo Densta, despite hunger being a greater cause, there are some diseases that might contribute to the rise of elephant mortality rates.
Our neighbors from Zimbabwe, but ile a new strand le gore ba se ba isupile go itemogela gape mo situation gape ngwe e leng teng ya the floppy trunk syndrome mo e leng gore di palelwa go dirisa pogo.
Department of Wildlife are working with different stakeholders to aid in setting the situation under control. Kitso Taimani, Botswana Television, Poha.
The leadership of Itusen Trust in Tsetseng says the main objective is to conserve natural resources in their village. In an interview with Botswana Television, the trust leaders stressed that they are committed to contributing towards development of their village. Nao Mudungwa.
Upon the realization that some of the wild products in Tsetseng village, especially the wild animals, are slowly going to extinction, Itusen Community Trust devised a plan to conserve the affected species with the help of Department of Forestry and Range Resources. Although they are making strides in this aspect, Itusen Community Trust say they are afflicted by thieves who continue to frustrate their endeavors in safeguarding the wild products.
Tota nka be letseno lone la madi a mabapi le dinotshi ke kganya go dinotshi gompieno yana ga di a iketla ka lebaka la go shagana dibetsa tsa tlhokana ke sebetsa sa tlhole godimo go shaga lehatse yaanong go raya gore re iphotlha re hera yaanong ga gona se re se gamang ke yone ke lana re tsena letsenonyana go tsena letsenonyana
ya dikhoutara tsa diphologolo batho yone le yone santse re tshwareganetse le ba wildlife gore a ba ka re nela dikhoutara dingwe tsa diphologolo e re kgona gore ga dingwe di neela morafe then the trust le yone be benefita mo go tsone.
Nonetheless, this trust appreciated some government departments which constantly contribute towards the attainment of their mission by equipping them with necessary skills.
The training ka tsone di-project tse di tsa go buiwa ke modula stilo ka di-project tsa bo morama gore morama o kgona go ntsha oil o kgona go ntsha snake. Training tsa tene di diriwa ke ba bo coconut le ba BCA gore re ne le a better re ne well equipped ka gore go ka ntsha di-products tsa teng sentle.
Trust ke ene e creatang ditiro ga ise re be re ne le madi gore madi ke ra dire re thusiwa keng ke bone bodirelapuso bo harologanye jaaka e le leng dibode di kopile jaaka go ntse go buiwa le leng bode ga ba re tsentse dikopo tsa go kopa one mo phakeng re batla go dira sengwe teng le leng bode ba itlhokomolosa.
Residents of this village expressed concern over the long distance they travel to access government services in Letlhake village, which is 297 kilometers away, highlighting that this upsets establishment of developments in their village. Neo Mudungwa, Botswana Television, Tsetseng.
Ms. Kiseho Mayane from the Department of Entrepreneurship has emphasized the importance of the participation of women in horticultural production, especially in view of opportunities opened up by government's importation restrictions on selected fruit and vegetables. The advice was shared during the official handover of a garden to Wakazi by the Save Wildlife Conservation Fund in Kugao in the Okavango district. Maranyani Samakata.
Wakazi, consisting of 17 women, has obtained a business registration certificate and a garden, marking a significant achievement. The group is now poised to engage in production and trade, and this development is noteworthy.
Jaaka puso ene ya tsa tshotso ya gore e tshwalele di fruit and vegetable go tswa ko la tsela South Africa go takwa gore ba itse jaanong gore jaaka bo spa ba leha ba dependa mo go bone ba beile mo go bone gore ke bone ba leme ba ise go bone ba ye go rekisa ka gore di vegetable ka bontsi di setse di tswetse a gona di vegetable tse di tswang ko nte re ba rotloetse gona gore ba lemele market.
Demonstrating determination, Wakazi has encouraged young people to acquaint themselves with government programs and organizations that support business startups and operations.
Banana o le saletse morago le ha tshele lothe Botswana jone le bataine tiro hela go bereka se dire go sio tota mo le hatsi ga re motho a itire ka diata go itira ka diata go no re kopane le maphata ha re sa tshwara sepe re pope gore re tere re itire ga gona sepe tota se le hatsi se ka re dira sone rona re sa itshwaraganye gore re itire
a re simololeng ka bonyenyane re tanna re gola ka bonya ka jalo ra taratela e na le motakase ba gola office ya bone ba ba yang dithulusi mo teng ba gola le mantwana a boithumelo ga ke batla go a bitsa mantu a ba khata
There's also a call for larger enterprises to contribute to the growth of small businesses.
I would like to take this time to sincerely plead on behalf of this group for support from the stakeholders, being lodges who can buy their produce, government initiatives and services that can help them grow, and special request goes to Tawana Land Board to facilitate this group so that they can have a land right, so that they can access financial aid in financial institutions.
Delta Palm Spa has expressed its willingness to receive produce from Wakazi, signaling potential collaboration between big and small businesses. Maranyani Samagata, BTV News, Kukau.
It is time for sports with Josego Unkwe. Josego?
Good evening, Komutso, and how are you?
I'm well, ma'am. How are you?
Oh, yes, I'm also looking fabulous. I'm also feeling wonderful today.
Wonderful today because?
Wonderful today because, you know, obviously, yes, we lost against Mozambique, but, you know, it wasn't a bad game at all.
Okay.
Of course, we lost, but it wasn't that bad. So please, let's continue to have more faith on Darosa that will give us more of the best of his.
So you were feeling wonderful because we played well, ma'am?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay, please proceed.
Thank you so much, Komutso, and great to see you all. I'm bringing to you BOTSWANA Tonight Sports News, and with that, let's get straight into it and start with the top leading story at this hour. Botswana National Sports Commission BNSC has given Botswana Netball Association the green light to host the African Netball Cup after securing 300,000 pula sponsorship from Okavango Diamond Company ODC. Initially, Uganda were announced as the hosts for this year's edition, but had to pull out due to financial constraints. Katlego Kakule has more.
The president of Botswana Netball Association, Malebo Raditlading Khatile, says hosting the games in Botswana will present a wide scope of benefits for all the stakeholders related to the game of netball.
This is very important, especially that we don't have that funding. So when you are given the opportunity to host, it's an opportunity for the talent in your own country to be exposed to the world. So if we were not able, then Botswana would have not taken part, because if they say any other country hosts around Africa, we wouldn't have afforded to be there. And this is a ranking games. This is where our talent is seen because it's televised, and this is where people are scouting for talent. And I'm very happy that the BNSC agreed to it.
Preparations for the Continental Netball Cup have already started.
Yes, this particular is over $1 million. So, but we had to cut in a lot of expenses in double duties to ensure that the volunteers are not as big as you used to, like we had in the 2017. So we have to cut all the costs that we believe we can compromise.
Bona is appealing to various stakeholders to join hands, as their support will help them to host a successful tournament.
Only about hosting the event. So also the struggle was the Team Botswana's camps, because they've been trying but coming from home. So we still have that challenge.
The 2023 African Netball Cup, which is scheduled for the 26th of November to the 6th of December, is expected to attract some of the best countries in netball from across the entire continent, which include countries like South Africa, Malawi, Uganda, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Namibia, Kenya, Tanzania, Ghana, Burundi, as well as the host Botswana. Katlego Kakule, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
Senior national team, the Zebras, suffered a 2-3 defeat against Mozambique in their first leg Group G World Cup 2026 qualifiers match earlier at Obeditani Chulume Stadium in Francistown. Mozambique found the back of the net in the 14th minute, courtesy of Tlesio, before Stanley Ratifo gave their wayside a second goal in the 52nd minute of the game. Molaudi Khalifa made it 2-1 for the home side in the 74th minute, but Mozambique's Jonathan Maimo completed the hat-trick a minute later. Zebra's substitute Mohakuli Dingele scored the second goal for the home side to end the game 3-2. In the other World Cup qualifiers game played earlier today, Burundi defeated Gambia 3-1 in Group F clash.
I saw during the match many good things. Particularly, we got a lot of opportunity to score, and we miss a lot also, and one penalty. We fight until the end with pride. It was very important, but for sure, if we want to be more consistent and to win match, it's very important to correct our defensive mistake, and it's very important to correct that before the next match against Guinea. But you know, I'm a very positive coach, so I will keep in my mind what we have done very well, particularly the opportunity we got.
First of all, you would like to congratulate his players. The most important thing for this match was to win. Although there were many challenges regarding to the weather, the pitch itself, and also some players who joined the team late.
And now into boxing. Elite boxer Moabingaka has been invited to take part in the prestigious Ho Tram show in Vung Tam, Vietnam on Saturday. Fondly known as the Eagle in boxing circles, Moabi will face the Thai Hong Hang of Vietnam in a non-title bout. The World Boxing Federation Africa champion is one of the 6 boxers from 12 countries who were invited to participate at the Ho Tram show, left for Vietnam on Tuesday, accompanied by his coach, Motlamedi Motse Wabeng. The duo are expected back home on Monday.
Being invited to fight in Vietnam is a very good opportunity for me as the first Botswana and African to compete in such tournaments in Vietnam. There are big world-class boxers that are invited. It's such a good opportunity. I just had a mini session today with a few. It was very nice and good boxing gyms, VSP promotion gyms. It's one of the big gyms in Asia. The weather is so hot here, but everything is fine. We are ready to fight. We are on way. I have faith that I'm going to win the fight and come back home with a good win.
Orapa United organizer Zenzel Hedgefield says they have been working with Botswana Athletics Association with the preparations for the marathon and in all that is needed to make sure the event is a success. The inaugural half marathon is scheduled for the 25th of this month at Itiken Stadium in Orapa. BTV Sport reporter Lydia Puluko has more.
Hedgefield said they have been working together with Botswana Athletics Association to ensure that the stage is set for the inaugural Orapa half marathon.
Re bereka le ba Botswana Athletics Association ba ntseng le ba gakolodi jwa go gakolla gore mabelo ana e tlo go nna mabelo a ileng gore ke a semo se ileng gore se tla bo se letleletsegile ebile se tsamaya ka melao. Ke itumetse thata ka gore rona re le ba Orapa half marathon lebelo le la accredited ebile gore ke lebelo le ileng gore seemo sa one we are able to even have world-breaking athletes at this on a mabelo ana. And as much as it's a half marathon, in terms of the capacity and in terms of the response, Botswana bo mmadi kompone le bo radi kompone ke batho ba ileng gore ba re rotloeditse thata. Maybe le ha o ka lebella gape re bereka le ba Botswana ba Orapa Athletics Club. Ne re bona go le matshwanedi gore kgaolo e tswana la botete re rotloetse ka gore ke kgaolo e leng gore itse ga thata ka gore ke kgaolo ya ditemane.
As a way of encouraging youngsters to take sports seriously, organizers have engaged some former athletes as the ambassadors of the event.
Le ba ileng gore gompe the brand ambassadors ile ditemane tsa mabelo o tsa di athletics tsa rona rena le ene dipsisololwane le ene mme amantle bonso. Our brand ambassadors ke ba ileng gore ba dirile go tlala ka diatla ba dira ka bonatla ka botswerere le bonokopila when it comes to athletics. And re le ba Orapa marathon rena ra bona go le matshwanedi go nna le bana ba Batswana ba ileng gore ba supile gore mabelo kana one athletics le tsone di ka busetsa da dira mo ileng gore ka mosore kare it also the economic benefits in terms of go busetsa mo ka ditsela tse di harologanye mo isolelong ya rona re le Batswana.
I don't doubt the intentions of what they are trying to do. They are looking to
raise funds to even help guys like Nkobolo. You know, I've seen him come up and become a national icon, and so many other guys that come from the region. And I always say, we are not in competition. We should never be in competition. We must join hands to grow Botswana sport. Whether athletics is winning gold, it doesn't change the fact that football is the #1 sport in Botswana. Maybe the two can find common ground to both help each other grow up, you know, and achieve more.
The Orapa Half Marathon is expected to attract over 1,500 athletes from neighboring countries such as South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Kenya, amongst others. The event includes 21.1 kilometer half marathon, 10 kilometer race, and 5 kilometer fun race. Lydia Bulugo, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
And that is all that we had for you from Botswana Tonight Sports Desk. Until we meet tomorrow, have a blessed night. And let me bring it back to Khomuso to give you the headlines of tonight. Khomuso.
Thank you so much, Khomuso. Have yourself a pleasant evening, ma'am.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much, Khomuso. Let's meet tomorrow.
Thank you so much. That was Khomuso Nkwe with the latest in sports. Let's take a final look at stories leading the way this evening. Government to give priority to internal roads infrastructure development. Internal auditors not registering in satisfactory numbers with the Institute of Internal Auditors. And in sports, BNSC gives the Botswana Netball Association the green light to host the Africa Netball Cup. That's all that we had in our news bulletin. BTV News, Ikanya Rona, #BW Mindset Change, Archencheng.
Batho betso mahala peo o botlhokwa mo Botswana mahala pele tikologo tsa mahala apse ka gore o tshotse tse dintsi sa ntlha